People, how's everybody? I'm checking something real quick. What's up, party people? How's everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. I want to say something. I want to be clear about this. I don't want there to be no misunderstanding. We need uh, to appreciate our media. When I say our media, I specifically mean our media over here, our black media. We need to really appreciate it because for those of us or y'all that wasn't around during the 80s and the 90s before social media, you can't understand how they were social engineering niggas with bullshit. I got a question. Is my camera working right? Is my camera working smoothly? Because it doesn't look like it's smooth over here. Is my camera working smoothly? So hold on. I'm about to tell y'all what this video is about. This video is about the New York Post. They just pulled some bullshit. Now, this is why I keep telling y'all. There's a difference when we're reading an article and you can't always just accept everything that's being said. Like, you know how these dudes do paperwork parties and they do the paperwork party and they read everything in the paperwork party, but since they don't understand legalese, then they tell you a thing and they say that this is what it's saying, but it might not be what it's actually freaking saying. They just don't understand what they're reading. The same thing could be said when a tabloid, some people call it a Post a tabloid. I'm not going to do that. When a newspaper portrays itself to be a tabloid. And the reason why I'm saying this is New York Post said something that was 100% wrong about TAXSTONE in a situation that happened. First of all, R.I.P. Banger. R.I.P. to Ronald McFadden. That's one. Two, they said something that was 100% incorrect. And that's going off of the testimony of one of the individuals that was actually shot, just so we could be clear. So I'm not saying they said something that I don't agree with. I'm saying they said something that is 100% incorrect. Now, I'm also going to say this. I don't remember these dudes in court. Could they have been in court that particular day? Absolutely, they could have been in court that particular day. But I didn't see these dudes in court. That's one. Two, the thing here, the thing that they said, we know to be incorrect. How do we know it to be incorrect? Allegedly. I can't even say allegedly because we know this is wrong. So what they said is that they was going through the chain of events that had to deal with when Benga and Troy Ave initially, the confrontation actually happened. So they're going through the chain of events immediately before the confrontation happens. They hear somebody say, "What's popping?" Benga responds back and says, "What's popping?" Then he turns and he looks at Troy Ave and he says to Troy Ave, basically lets Troy Ave know that he's going to, attack him or whatever the case is. Up until that point, and Troy Ave winks at him. And he says, basically, okay. Up until that point is fine. After that, what they say is TAXSTONE immediately reached for his weapon. That's 100% incorrect. He did not do that. And what I mean by he didn't do that is Troy Ave said that when Troy Ave threw the punch, that he himself reached for TAXSTONE's weapon. That's literally what Troy Ave said. So I'm not here to argue about whose fault it is, who shot who's to blame or whatever. TAXSTONE was just found guilty of a crime. But I do remember how the newspapers shaped our image throughout the 80s and the 90s, that whenever anything happened, we didn't have social media. We didn't have our people going into the courtroom to find out what was going on. We had zero of that. What up, Arthur D. Glass? This is Good Morning BBN Fan Frost, and he drops the Cash App. We had zero of that. We didn't have that. So now, remember when I always tell y'all this, I say, yo, look, in New York City, the best newspaper is the Daily News. I said, you really can't F with the Post. The Post is, sometimes they on point, but most of the time, I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. They've been accused of being a racist newspaper for as long as I know. It was owned by Rupert Murdoch, just so we could be clear, and that's the dude that owns Fox. I don't know who owns it now. I'm assuming he still owns it. So there's always been an issue with that particular circulation. And in addition to that, people have called it a tabloid before. I'm not going to do that. I think that's disrespectful. I've actually met some people that work over there that, you know, I read some of their work. It's after I met them. I read some of their work, and they were actually pretty good. So, you know, it's not a universal thing. It probably might just only be a thing that particular, you know, certain topics. It's just, sir, I don't know what to tell you, fam. I don't know what the fuck they doing over there. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope everybody's having a great day. I got right into the problem that I had, rather than just what we generally do when we start the show and I do my whole monologue. As you can see, it's better, I think, when I start the show and just do the monologue. Shout out to Brooklyn NASDAQ. Salute. I was just thinking about that stuff this morning. I got to clear that up. On Sunday, I have a situation that's happening. Contact me. Contact me. That's just that. On the BBN.network. If you're interested in knowing what I'm talking about. Oh, with that being said, so I'm thinking I should start doing the monologues. I should keep the monologue going. I don't think I should what up, True York? I think I should keep the monologues, right? Like just going right into the show. I prefer to do the monologues. Anyway, let me just tell you what else we're gonna have in the show. Also, I want to talk about Tory Lanez. I want to talk about something that Tory Lanez said. And one, I'm not gonna lie. The main reason why I want to discuss this Tory Lanez topic is because it's something that I had said previously, and he's basically just saying that I'm right. So that's why I want to talk about it. I ain't even lie to you. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. Shout out to the Most High. All glory be to God. I just want to be clear on something. He said something, or something had came out, and I just want to just reiterate it. I want to go over it once again, because it's something that I had said previously. Just so you know. So I want to talk. I actually wanted to talk about it the other day, but we didn't get around to it. So I'm hoping that we get around to it today. We didn't get around to it the other day. In any regard, and the Boosie situation. I had people, we was talking about Boosie yesterday. He caught bond 50K. I want to know what you guys think about that. Actually, I told y'all what I think about it. I actually want to know what you think about it. Put it in the chat. What do you think about Boosie? Getting the 50K bond, being who he is, and basically, he got a 50K bond. That's it. What do you think about that? Like I said, he probably wasn't even supposed to be arrested. I don't know what to tell you. I don't see why they would arrest him. Like, I don't see why they would arrest him. Like, if you know, you know. I don't see why they would arrest him. That don't make sense. They couldn't have wanted to arrest him. That was an accident. There was just some people doing some shit they wasn't supposed to be doing. I promise you. He got to skate out of this somehow. I promise you. And not because he's some kind of snitch, and not because he's some kind of rat or anything like that. I just think that he was arrested and he wasn't supposed to be. There's a lot of things happening under the sun, fam. There's a lot of things going on under the sun. Also, while we still talk, let's get back to what we're talking about. So, TAXSTONE specifically does interview with a guy named Zip the Drip. He's a rapper out of Queens, I believe, Corona, Queens. Does an interview with him. He talks with him, and this is what I mean by people try to criticize me and tell me I should be doing something else. Don't do this. But I think that often enough, I hit the nail on the head often enough. I probably hit the nail on the head, and this is not me trying to go at nobody or be disrespectful, more than the average content creator on any platform other than sports betting. Because, you know, they got to be incredibly accurate to be fucking successful at that. And the reason in which why I say that is this. Also, yes, I used to sit around with family members and we used to try to predict who was going to win games. One of my favorite things to do is to watch baseball and predict which pitch is going to be thrown next. Literally, just so we could be clear. And also what the batter might be trying to do. If the batter's trying to go the other way, if he's trying, this is literally how I grew up watching sports. So with that being said, during this interview, somebody sent me a clip. TAXSTONE raises the same point why I was trying to explain to you why I believe that the jury didn't find him guilty of the greater charges, the more major charges. And that being that Troy Ave is the one who actually initiated the confrontation. Now do you understand why it's so, why this is such a big, why we shouldn't accept this type of coverage from our national publications? I'm assuming that, you know, you could go by fucking the New York Post in cities other than New York. So just, I've been places where I know you could go cop fucking the Daily News, and it wasn't New York, fam. I've been places in Boston. I get the Daily News delivered and stuff like that. Well, in Massachusetts. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the point in which I'm going to make, or the point in which I'm attempting to make or trying to make is this. I've consistently said that there's nothing wrong with our bigger marketing and our larger media outlets. I appreciate them. I'm happy that they're there. I often use them for my research, and I often use them or read their articles and watch their content, not just because, you know, of the entertainment value and learning, trying to learn how to be better at this, but also because I value lots of the information, if not all of the information. So I'm in no way trying to attack them. But what I am saying is, pay attention to when agendas is popping up. There was no reason for them to lie about that. There was no reason. They didn't need to lie about that. See, I was in court, and when he told that story, he was animated as heck. They saw that he had a gun because he was allegedly flashing that he had a gun. I did an interview with Troy Ave, and Troy Ave told us that. The reason why they knew that he had a gun is because he was allegedly walking around flashing that he had a gun. I'm not saying he did that. I'm telling you that that's what Troy Ave said when we interviewed him. That's a fact. So he threw the punch and reached for the gun, but he failed. That's his testimony. His testimony was not, TAXSTONE said what's popping. Banger said what's popping, turned to me and said, yo, whatever. I said, wait, get him. And then he reached for his gun and started letting off. That's not what happened. They told a totally different story, that if somebody looks back 10 years from now, searching for the information on this particular topic, They might come across this article and think that that's what happened with TAXSTONE. He trying to go get parole. So nobody don't think it's dangerous to put out content that's incorrect? Because I can't be the only one. Now, with that being said, that's the same point that we were making over here. That's the same reason why I told y'all he didn't get the capital charge. He didn't get the greater charges. Because Troy Ave literally with his own mouth said that he threw the first punch. He threw the first punch, and then with this hand, and then he reached for the gun with this hand, but he fell. That's what he said. When TAXSTONE was having his last, giving his, monologue, talking before his sentencing, he said a couple of things. First thing he said was he apologized for the chain of events that led up to, or that happened that night, so that led to the Benga losing his life. That's one thing he said. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, we can talk about that too. He said that, he wished things went different. He said that to the family. I believe him. I think I didn't get the impression like he was trying to be deceptive when he said that. I didn't get the impression like he was trying to win favor when he said that. I got the impression like, this is really not the way that this was supposed to go. That's just the way I feel about that. Whatever happened, happened. With that being said, what he said is half of the things that Troy Ave said when he was on the stand was a lie. Tax didn't only say that they jumped him. They said that they jumped him. Troy Ave said that they jumped him. Troy Ave said that my man said he was going to hit him and then I hit him first. So that meant that they was both throwing punches at the same time, right? Troy Ave said that they jumped him. Tax reiterated it. He didn't say it. He reiterated it. Moneybags MVP since 35 years is a lot of time. Stay out the streets. This wasn't an in the streets thing, fam. This was an internet thing. You can't blame this on the streets. The streets is innocent. This was an internet thing. The streets is innocent. We're not going to blame this on the streets. Streets had nothing to do with this. Don't worry about the streets. I got this. The streets is innocent for you. This was the internet thing. I should make more coffee. I keep reaching for my cup. Hold on, give me a second. There you go. Apologize to the streets, fam. The streets had nothing to do with this. Give me a second. I need to put some water on real quick. Make me some tea. Make me some coffee. I'm here talking about stay out the streets. Streets ain't had shit to do with this. The streets is innocent. This was some internet shit. 100%. Somebody put my Cash App in the chat. And if it's already in the chat, money bags. Pull up to the saloon. Out here blaming shit on the streets. If you're enjoying any of the content this morning, you could always support the channel. I can't get into that Instagram account right now. If you want to contact me on Instagram, you have to use the BBN.network account. What am I saying real quick? So yeah, stop blaming shit on the streets. If you are enjoying the content this morning, you could always pull up to the Cash App, the Super Chat, or the PayPal, or you can just go buy some merch. We got a link down in the description. I'm gonna have a much easier way for us to be able to get merch real soon. Teesprings. I got to get out of a chat. Apparently, it's a long story. In any regard, or you could become a member to the channel. Arthur D Glasses, stop beefing over nonsense if you don't want to deal with the consequences. Well, see, this is the problem with beefing with people. You cannot be beefing, fam. You could be minding your business. They could just be beefing with you. You understand? So you could just be somewhere minding your business. This is the problem with the internet. See, before, you could just be like, you could just avoid a person. Like, that person is just annoying. I'm just gonna avoid them. Like, I don't really care about this. But you can't do that now. You understand? They follow you around. Why? Because the internet is a thing. Because everybody on the internet. So I don't think it's that simple. Give me 1 second. I think that water boiling. So I don't think it's that simple. That's all I'm saying. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. Shout out to my local gas station, because I don't use white sugar no more. Oh man, don't nobody take that the wrong way. Hey yo, did y'all like me walking around Manhattan on live? How y'all felt about that yesterday? Y'all think I need to go? Y'all think I need to go downtown and do lives more often? How y'all felt about that? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Yeah, how y'all felt about that? How y'all felt about me walking around Manhattan doing lives? How y'all felt about that? Adam says this is what could happen when you jump a man. McFadden jumped in. Adam says this is what happened when you jumped a man. McFadden jumped in the middle of the highway and got. The truth is, no need for people on McFadden's side to get emotional over facts. I think people are going to get emotional over the loss of someone that they love, right? I think that's a thing. Like emotion, it's not something that you actually control. I think that emotion is something that happens to you. It's not really something that you experience. It's something that happens to you. Whether it's a positive emotion or negative. Right? In any regard. I think we should I think it's never a reason to disrespect people who are mourning someone. I don't think there's, like, even if you don't like the person, why would you want to be disrespectful towards the people that mourn said person? And I like my broke mug. This is my Bronx market. It's doing just fine. All right, let's get back to it. Could we drop some frost? I want to see you in here. Anybody in here? I'm just curious. All right, so look, listen, pay attention, just so we can be clear. TAXSTONE, 35 years. Like I said before, where I put that book? I have no idea where I put the book. I thought I put it where I could see it. Did that again. All right, so I will explain the best way I can. I don't have my visual aids at the moment. I have no idea where I put that damn book. I don't have my visual aid at the moment. I put it slow. That was dope. If you know what you was looking at, if you realize what just happened, you'll realize why I thought that was dope. Anyway, so he was given, just so we could be clear, for the first charge. Yeah. Because it's sub of the first charge. For the manslaughter charge, he was given 10 years. For the attempted murder, he was given 10 years. I believe that was the attempted murder. For charge 1, he was given 10 years. For charge 3, he was given 10 years. Let me see if it's in this book real quick so I can tell you exactly what the charges are. All right, so for manslaughter for manslaughter, he was given 10 years. That was the first charge. For, I believe, charge 3, he was also given 10 years. For, I believe, charge 4, it was either 4 or 5. In any regard, he was given 10, 10, and a 15. That's basically the years that he's gonna have to serve, because everything after the 15 is gonna run concurrent with the 15. So that means that he's gonna do the 10 for the manslaughter for the charge 1. He's gonna do the 10 for, I believe, the charge 3. Then while he's doing the last 15, at that time, he's gonna also be running concurrent with all the other charges that fall after that particular charge, if you can understand what I'm saying. So he's gonna do the charge 1. Let me get another. So he has 10 years, and I believe it's for the charge 1. For, I believe, charge 3, he also has 10 years. I believe it was charge 3. Then it was charge 4 or 5. He gets 15. Now, everything under that is like 5 and 10 or whatever the case is, just so we could be clear. But those are all going to run concurrent. So that's how come he's going to get 35 years. Because this 10, and then after he runs that one, he's going to run this one. And then after he runs that one, he's going to run this one. And the way the judge said it in court, people have to start looking at people they consider to be enemies in a different way, right? Because I want to explain something. You think a lot of times when you hate a person, you do not have the slightest idea who they are. Salute, Mello. Good morning, Tennessee, Tanisha. A lot of times you hate people, you don't even know who they are. You don't have the slightest idea who they are. A lot of times you hate people because of who you are. It has zero to do with who they are. So you don't even know who they are. So when you do things to hurt that person, you have no idea who else you're also hurting. So when you take that person from this planet, you don't know how many people's lives you have. You don't know how many people were dependent on that individual. His moms got up and said that he was her, that Ronald McFadder was her, whenever there's a medical emergency, that's who is the number that they call. They contact him whenever, she has an emergency, and whenever something happens to her, she gets rushed to the hospital. They contact. He's her contact. She said after the situation happened, she had an emergency where she had to go to the hospital, and they asked her, was he still the contact? You don't know what responsibilities these individuals have while you running around hating them because of some shit that's in you. Where you running around trying to destroy another person because of some shit that's in you. Having zero to actually do with the person that you hate because you don't even know them. You want to tell people that they don't know you because they only had a couple of encounters with you, while you believe that you know another person that you only had a couple of encounters with. So when his family got up there, his two sisters, his aunt, and his mother, when they was talking about how much they miss him, it wasn't just we miss him because we want to call him thing. We miss him because he was actively doing things in our lives that we did, and other people weren't doing these things. He was actively in our life doing something. I'm going to comment on this. Lamar Green says Banger wasn't a victim, and I'm not picking sides, but his mom wouldn't be crying if Tax would have lost his life. Okay, so you want to know something that the devil wants us to do? And I'm not calling you the devil. I'm just saying that right now you're just being misinformed in a way in which that is a appropriate way to have this conversation. You know what the devil wants us to do? The devil always wants us to compare. So you want us to compare one woman losing their child to another woman losing their child. I don't want to do that. Why can't we say no matter which way it would have happened, it would be equally tragic, and no matter what side it would have happened on, I would be having the same conversation? Let's assume that. How about that? Is that good for you? Because I'm pretty sure that if it would have happened the other way, that they would have been, his mother and his sisters would have been coming up, TAXSTONE would have been saying the same thing. No, not everybody family misses them, so that's incorrect. And I'm not talking about whether your family would miss you or not. What I'm talking about is your callous nature to say that since if somebody else would have passed away, would I be saying the same thing? Like if one side, if it would have happened to the other person, I still wouldn't care. Maybe you should look at human beings a little bit differently. But that's okay. Because I'm neither am I perfect. I'll accept you with your flaws. Now back to what I was saying. Because I was saying what I was saying for a reason. Mr. coming in here and talking and don't even know what the conversation's about. You're not even having the same conversation I'm having. I'm about to tell you why the judge, I'm literally telling you why the judge said a thing that I'm about to tell you that he said. and I'm explaining to you, and I'm contextualizing the thing that I'm about to say. You're talking about something totally different than what I'm talking about. I don't even think you're going to pay attention to understand what I'm talking about, to be honest with you. But I would like for you to. Just so we could be clear. So like I was saying, just so we could be clear. The judge said that he wanted him to serve those terms consecutively because he wanted him to know how it feels to get to the end of one of his freaking terms and have to do another one. And I'm actually contextualizing why the judge said such a thing in open court. Why you're trying to tell me that if one person would have died instead of the other, it would have been the same. Do you see how we're not even on the same vibration? But it's okay. We here now? You with me? Is everything good? You with me now? What up, David Jace Mine? Is it supposed to be David Jasmine? What up, Dave? He says 35 years, man. It's a long time. It's a long time. In a perfect world, nobody would have been attacked. In a perfect world, nobody would have been shot. Nobody would have been killed. But also in a perfect world, there wouldn't have been a situation where they would have been going at each other like that over the internet. For that to even, for this to even almost transpire. So while you're sitting there saying that these dudes aren't innocent, I'm sitting there and saying that nobody involved in this situation at ground level is innocent. But we're not here to talk about how people aren't innocent. We're here to talk about the aftermath. We're here to talk about the lessons that can be learned, hopefully that we won't relive. We're here to discuss those things. We're not here to demonize anybody. We're not here to kick anybody when they're down. I'm not on that type of time. David says, nah, F that. I told 35 years. You mad me look crazy like I'm not from the city. What are you talking about, David? Are you just here to argue? Because I'm not going to just stand here and argue with you. Just so we can be clear. Mello says, shout out to Mello, salute. He says, if you got to take a gun with you to the concert, party, game, you should skip it. So I'm going to directly address that. So TAXSTONE literally said this in open court. He said, yo, look, I'm scared. He said, I'm always scared. Now, before we go any further, I want everybody to remember that TAXSTONE had a situation where he only has one eye now. One of TAXSTONE's eyes is not real. He has a situation where he only has one eye now. Just so we could be clear. I forgot how it happened, but that's not here what we talk about. I'm just here to explain. He in open court, he said, look, I'm scared. He said, look, we weren't even planning on going. He said, yo, look, we weren't even planning on going. We weren't even planning on going to Urban Plaza. He was doing a whole different thing with a whole different set of people at a whole different type of venue with totally different energy. You understand? He wasn't even planning on going there. So I'm just saying, so for the people that's saying that he shouldn't have had a weapon on him, but you also got to remember, should he not have had a weapon on him because you don't come outside with a weapon, or should he have not had a weapon on him because this is New York City? And if you get caught with a weapon, it's a problem, especially if you're a felon. Tanisha Wall says he was shot in the eye. He was shot in the eye, which basically means the head, I'm assuming. So you don't think that he has a reason when he says that he was scared? I'm just asking. Tell me how you feel about it. I'm not arguing with you, by the way, Mello. I'm just saying that I just think that context need to also be applied. Remember, a lot of times, especially when you are on the internet, you'll go places and you don't know people, but people know who you are. You understand what I'm saying? So you also got to have that type of context. And if you got to go to places, sometimes you might be overly friendly, so therefore they think you're a sucker. And sometimes you might not be friendly enough, so therefore they might think that you're too distant. So it's a fine line. You understand what I'm saying? Ken Thompson says, they did my guy Tax crazy. That's no mercy at all. Kenneth couldn't even get a better sentence. Shaking my head. You don't think... I want to be clear on something. When Keenan gave her final address to the court about the situation and she started mentioning all the shit that couldn't be brought into court, I'm telling you right now, if all of that other stuff would have been brought into court, this case would have been a totally different case. He'd probably be looking at 97 years. That's the point in which I'm trying to make. Because he would have been found guilty of different charges, in my belief, in my opinion. So I think Kenneth did an incredible job, even though he wasn't able to do a better job than what was done. I think sometimes we can't always look at the success as by how many did you win or lose the game. Sometimes the success should actually be measured by how bad did the game look. Because sometimes you're just up against a superior circumstance. Sometimes all of the opposition's ducks are just in a row and there's nothing you can do about it. Not everybody is going to make the mistakes like YNW Melly's district attorney down there made. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I've been looking through my notes of when Keenan was doing her shit. Sheesh, fam. I'm surprised she didn't decide to be a doctor. It just was precision. So being that freaking she was, I'm going to assume this is her A game. Because if she gets much better than what I saw, I don't understand how she ever loses anything. So I'm assuming this was her A game. We're talking about a situation where a man was accused, or where he's actually been found guilty of bringing a firearm into an establishment, using said firearm. One person died and 3 other people got shot. One dude had like 6 feet of an intestines removed or something like that. And you think the fact that he got 35 years is too much? I'm just asking. David Jasmine, just so we could be clear, if this stuff wasn't run concurrent and if it was run consecutive, he'd be doing 15 years. The only thing I actually said different is that I believe that they was going to be run concurrently for the most part. So I'm not here to argue, fam. So be productive to the conversation, if you don't mind. I appreciate you. Tax did it to himself. He put this situation on him. R.I.P. Banger. I think there's responsibility that could be handed out to all sides. Give me one moment. And that's the conversation I was busy having with the dude earlier. I think one second. Pardon me. Once again, there's enough blame to go around, so that we're not here to discuss how much blame it is to go around. We're here to discuss actual situations, instances, and things as such. Why did he attend the event where Troy Ave was? Once again, what up, Elgin Times? Once again, why did he attend the Elgin Times? Shout out to Elgin Times. He says, why did he attend the event where Troy Ave was when they were beefing? He brought this upon himself. Troy Ave and he himself also admitted that they've been at multiple events before at the same time. That's one. Two, he didn't know, as far as from what was said previously, he didn't even know that Troy Ave was going to be there, allegedly. So allegedly, he didn't know that Troy Ave was going to even be there. So, because he didn't even plan on going there. This wasn't something that he planned on attending. It was just a situation where he was already out doing something else with his friends, and they were celebrating a different event, something that he had going on with Puma. So while they were celebrating the thing that he had going on with Puma, they went out to eat. You know, they gave him the new Pumas or whatever the case was. They went, you know, he left with the sneakers. And then before he can go home, they was like, yo, let's go to this thing. T.I.'s in town. So he's been at events prior to this one with a Banger, R.I.P. Banger, with Banger and Troy Ave present. Just so we could be clear. So, you know, even if he knew Troy Ave was going to be there, why would he not go there if they've been at the same place previously and there's not been an altercation? I mean, I would have definitely been asking what made him decide that they were, because he said what's popping. So he never said anything to y'all previously? Y'all never spoke before? Nah? Oh, again. So, you know, what's popping could be used in different terms. It could mean aggressive fight, but it could also mean. So I don't know. Maybe I would have attacked that question a little bit different, or that shit a little bit different. But I doubt I would have did a better job. I don't do this shit before. Also, R.I.P. Banger and I'm trying to be. What the fuck is going on with this shit? Okay, I can't see that comment, so I'm just gonna apologize. I can't read. Okay, I can't read that. Maybe they get it reduced on a bill. No. Once again, no disrespect intended, Elgin. I want to respond to your comments. Thank you for making the comments. I hope you make many more. Says Elgin Tan says life is about choices. Tax could be making millions had he made the right choices. Once again, Tax was at the event, and not just Tax is saying that they attacked him, but they are saying that out of their own mouths. So I'm not saying anyone should have or should have. I'm not saying anybody should have been shot. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying they themselves said that they attacked him. I don't know if you know that part. What up, Shakim Govin? Salute. Hope everything is going fine, well with you and yours. Another message I can't see. Sorry about that. When you got a chance, call Star later. Yeah, he want the insight on the court. Yeah, I gotta call Star. Shaq Spalding says when somebody say what's popping, we know what that means. What I want to say is this. And this is the part that I think kind of went under the rug. So they're at an event where they're playing really, really loud music, right? So if he yelled out what's popping, that means that a lot of people would have heard him, right? Because he would have had to yell, what's popping at them. You see why TAXSTONE not having anybody take the stand for him hurt? So in reality, was Troy Ave lying or was Troy Ave telling the truth? Oh, y'all guys got mad comments. If I knew y'all would have been commenting like this, I would have been going further. He attacked him for brandishing the gun. You be rewriting history to fit your narratives. No, no, no. I'm not. Hold on, Wolf Royal. Slow down. I'm not saying what happened or didn't happen. I'm talking about what somebody said happened. So I'm saying what Troy Ave's testimony was. And what I'm saying is Troy Ave's testimony was that he said that he was flashing a gun. I'm saying that that's what Troy Ave's testimony was. And what I'm saying is that the New York Post said that he just pulled the gun out and just started firing. He didn't do that. Now, did he flash the gun? I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not saying he did or he didn't flash the gun. I didn't even hear TAXSTONE say he didn't flash the gun at no point. So I'm not saying that he didn't. What I'm saying happened is that one guy said that he was going to get him, and then they did initiate the conflict. That's a fact of that's what they said. What am I rewriting? Please explain to me what I'm rewriting. I said that he said he didn't know who was going to be there. Tell me what I'm rewriting. Is people saying things in the chat and then you're telling me that I'm saying those things? You think I'm typing the stuff in the chat? I don't understand what you think I'm doing wrong. I need for you to explain to me. The people that, oh, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I'm not even talking about the people that TAXSTONE had on the stand, but we will have that discussion. Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't mean to talk about that, but I'm not even talking about the people. You're just arguing with me to argue with me. Like, I'm not even saying the things that you're saying I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what you're doing. Explain it to me. Oh, you said y'all, not you. I was so confused. I'm over here. I'm so confused. My apologies. I was scrolled all the way up. So y'all been commenting and I haven't been reading your shit in real time because I had stopped to respond to somebody. So I'm reading your shit late. My apologies. I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh man, I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? I didn't say any of those things. What are you talking about? Oh man, I ain't got time for this. I'm getting too old for this shit. Oh man. I had no idea. Oh man. Oh man. My fault. I ain't trying. I was laughing by accident. Oh man. Oh man, ain't more tissue now. Shout out to Chipotle. I had Chipotle yesterday. Shout out to everybody that pulled up for lunch yesterday. We had Chipotle. Told you I was going to Chipotle. Shout out to everybody that pulled up for lunch yesterday. We had Chipotle. Shout out to Chipotle. So Chipotle, and this is like my favorite thing that they have right now. They got this like pulled beef shit. It's like my favorite thing that they got right now. It's like my favorite thing. Shout out to Chipotle. Thank you for making that thing. There was nothing misleading. Tax put out a gun and started shooting. No, I'm going to tell you what was misleading. What was misleading is the way the article proposed the situation is Tax pulled out the gun and started shooting before the first punch was landed. So since Tax didn't pull out the gun and start shooting before the first punch landed, that means that that is actually wrong and incorrect. That changes the whole entire situation. That changes all the motivations. That changes everything. Just so we could be clear, Troy Ave said they attacked him first. So I don't know who's trying to. Lamar Green says everybody keep trying to change the narrative that they attacked first, and it didn't go that way this time. So the Troy Ave, literally the person who threw the first punch, said that they threw the first punch, man. Well, I'm not making this about Troy Ave. This is definitely, I try to talk about the family situation as much as possible. Oh, you arguing with Wolf Royal. Oh, yeah, I'm going to mind my business. Y'all have that conversation go on. I'm going to keep going with the show. Y'all arguing. Oh, all right, my fault. I apologize. I need to mind my business. Can we hit that like button, please? We got 78 people in the room. We got 78 people in the room. Do you mind hitting that like button? Yeah, that's between you two. Whatever the hell y'all guys are talking about. I'm just mind my business. Yeah, I'm mind my business. The fuck am I doing? Record said, Frost, remember, he had his hand on the gun saying what's popping. Slow down. Listen, pay attention. One time, Troy Ave said he had his hand on the gun. Another time, Troy Ave says he lifted up his shirt and just showed the gun. That's been inconsistent. Okay? That's been inconsistent. With all respect. No, he did not already pull the gun out. That's not what happened. That's not what they said happened. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I can see this message. Good. Okay. Who wrote this? Troy Ave, what's popping is like Meg's dance bitch. Nobody heard it. Retarded. Nobody heard it. Oh man. I'm not saying that the dude didn't say what's popping. I have no idea whether he said what's popping or not. I wasn't there. But it's a loud place. Imagine if somebody else said what's popping and they just thought it was him. I'm saying anything could have happened because they're literally at a concert and it's loud. If he said what's popping, that should be something that everybody heard. That's one. Two, he didn't have anybody go up there to testify for him. Y'all keep talking about those 3 people that went up there to testify. I don't really consider any of them witnesses. With all respect due. I don't consider any of them witnesses. Not near one of them. One dude went up there just to say he didn't know nothing. Another dude went up there to say that the other dude that didn't know nothing, he didn't tell him nothing. And then the other chick went up there and then she just said the same thing Troy Ave said. She just said it from a different perspective, which is fine. But that's what witnesses was that was going to help TAXSTONE. Wolf Royal says they was in the green room. It was not a concert. The area green room does not have loud music, which once again reasserts the point I was trying to make. Somebody should have heard him say that or not say that. And if that was the case, then why didn't somebody go take the stand and say that? So I didn't mean to set that trap for you. You just fell in it. That was an accident. That was set for somebody else. They didn't comment though. You're just trying to argue. You just trying to argue. You blaming me. I didn't mean for you to fall in that trap. It was set for somebody else. Mello says hip hop went from community knowledge and fun to a demon kill, kill, kill. This is a fact. We got to change the energy in hip hop. Exactly. Nobody heard that man say what's popping in the green room. No music. Just fell right in the damn trap, fam. It wasn't for you. If somebody else say something different, I have a different reply. This is why the haters yell at me and don't try to actually. This is why the haters yell at me and they don't try to actually have a discourse with me. This is why. That was an accident, though. I'm sorry about that. He should have took the stand in his defense. No. If he would have took the stand in his defense, he would have got absolutely killed. He should not have taken a stand in his own defense. But I mean, it is what it is. He would no, he should definitely not. Tory Lanez maybe, but him no, definitely not. Lamar Green says the law just messed up in New York. Any other state tax would have won. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he lost his case because it was in New York. I don't think he lost his case primarily because of New York laws. Exactly, Lamar Green. He couldn't take the stand. They would have all of the stuff they wanted to get in, they would have probably been able to ask him. because they would have been able to ask him about his character, basically. That he could have been doing that. Shout out to True York Raph. He says, I'm just gonna call you Raph. He says, I think he was giving them the warning and they just violated. 100%. I think it could have just been a situation where they looked at him a certain way and he could have just been like, yo, look, no, this isn't what you want. That's a possibility. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but I think that that's just as possible as anything else, right? There's no self-defense in New York is why I said that for us. No, I get why you're saying that. But what I'm saying is so many other laws were also violated. That's what I'm saying. You see, after you commit a crime, you can't commit a crime and in the process of this crime that you're committing, claim self-defense. You understand? So when he brought the gun into the venue, like even if it was the possibility of being able to have self-defense in New York City, once he violated the terms of entry into Irving Plaza and brought a firearm in the Irving Plaza, that means that now anything that happens inside of that building, he really can't claim self-defense on, or he shouldn't be able to claim self-defense on. Because he already broke a law. Now that's one. Two, and he's a felon, so he's not even supposed to have a gun. So that's already two different violations that's against him. So how can he claim self-defense? I don't think you have the ability to claim self-defense while you're in the commission of a crime. That's a fact. The judge gave him more than the DA asked for. What the DA asked for, like 20 or some shit? I think the DA might have asked for like 20 or 30 or some shit like that. 35 years laughing out loud. Judge gave him more than the DA asked for, and y'all talking about gun laws. Judge said you're going to be very elderly when you get home. Literally said that. Not including the federal gun charge. That's a fact. That's a fact. You ain't said nothing wrong. They asked the judge for 30. They gave him 30. He gave him 35. Adam appeal in the works. I would assume. I mean, you would have. If you get found guilty in open court of anything and don't appeal, why would you not appeal? Like, why would you not appeal? Like, that don't make sense. If you can't afford it, I guess you don't appeal. He might be able to get it reduced. That's a possibility. I mean, they're gonna appeal. You might get it reduced on appeal. That's a possibility. Who knows? I mean, there's steps that he's gonna be taking. He's not just gonna sit in prison, I'm assuming, and say, "Well, this is it." I doubt that that's gonna happen. Okay, first, I don't think you putting these damn comments in here. That's one. I don't think you putting those comments in there. That's one. That's one. Two, if he would have had a different attorney, I think he would have got more time. I think Montgomery Esquire. I think he did a lot of slick shit to get a lot of evidence removed, excluded. Anyway, says Charlemagne not paying for appeal. Never know. Never know. Never know. Never know. Never know. Never know. Maybe Charlemagne go buy a deli somewhere and just, cut him half of the deli, cut him a third of the deli products, what you call that, profits, every month, and put it in his commissary and be like, "Don't worry, you're gonna eat good forever. This deli is gonna stand for 100 years." Lamar Green said, "Actually, Montgomery has a high appeal overturn rate. Y'all better do y'all research." I don't know how serious I should take your comments, Lamar Green. You've made a lot of missteps this morning. I'm just saying. But I actually heard that about Esquire also, by the way. I heard that he actually does. He actually is pretty good in the appeals. I think that is something I heard about him. But generally speaking, I think your comments have been so far off the mark this morning. I don't know what to tell you. Any other aspect of this case, this trial, y'all want to discuss, put it in the chat. But he went on Zip and he said, "Yo, look, he was attacked." This is what people don't also get when people are talking about self-defense. I'm going to explain to you why self-defense in New York, where people lose out in self-defense in New York, and y'all don't get it. You're only allowed to put forth as much, violence that's being done to you back. You're not allowed to, like, if somebody slapped you in the face, you're not allowed to pull out a knife and stab them. You understand? Like, that's overkill. You're not, that's one of the issues and problems with people trying to say self-defense, because somebody will step on their foot and then they'll stab them and be like, "It was self-defense. He scuffed the Jordans." That's not going to be self-defense, man. Lamar Green, I just said that I also heard he has a high appeal overturn rate, and then you said you're willing to bet me. Why would I bet you on some shit that I agree with you on? Are you serious? Shout out to Josh Manheim. Shout out to Connecticut. Salute. Wait, what did Josh say that she said thank you to? Josh says, "Hey, Wolf Roy, you hope you and Troy doing well. Our thoughts are with y'all and Banger's family." That's a fact. Hope all is well too, Frost. We over here doing all of the things. Appreciate you, my brother. Salute. You already know what it is. I just be in the middle of shit. All right, let me be quiet. Wolf Roy, you said, start atting people. Could you please, when you talking to each other, could y'all at each other? Maybe there's other people that want to know that you're not talking to me also. Stop being lazy. At the mofo that you talking to. I don't think I'm the one that's wrong here. I might be a little wrong here. But if we got blame to go all sides, at who you talking to. Wolf Roy, you said that the only chance he has to appeal was for Malcolm Kenyon, not for any other reason. I'm not saying anything about appeal, by the way. So Wolf Roy, you says. So Wolf Roy, you says. So what would make y'all think they're gonna take back time from the victims on appeal? I don't know. Ken Thompson says if someone hits you in the face and you by yourself, they are with a large group, can shoot and count as self-defense. I'm going to say this much. It's hard to claim self-defense if you don't have witnesses helping you prove that it was actually self-defense. You saying that something is self-defense by yourself on your own isn't proof of anything. So, once again, if he would have had actual... The judge... Was it the judge? Did the judge say this or did the defense say this? The judge, I believe, in the prosecution, both spoke about the witnesses not being believable. I don't know what to tell you. They both spoke about how his witnesses weren't believable. So, it's hard to claim self-defense if you don't have witnesses. It's hard to claim self-defense if you don't have something other than yourself. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's pretty hard. They talking about K Flock is going to say self-defense. Y'all think that's going to work? What do you think? Put it in the chat. You think K Flock is going to be able to claim self-defense? He was, I think, in a neighborhood that wasn't his neighborhood, correct? It was a neighborhood literally where his ops be at, right? He walked past where his ops usually be, right? He looked in the store. Him and one of his ops yell at each other, right? The op come out the store. They walk down the block, right? The op stops and gets ready to turn around. They yell some more shit at him. And then the op turn around and follows K Flock. K Flock opens up on him. The op is gone, right? Y'all think he's going to be able to claim self-defense? They're going to say, well, the dude had a gun. He went for it. Right? You want to know what the prosecution is going to do? The prosecution is going to bring up all of their social media posts where these dudes is going through other day ops neighborhoods looking for somebody to shoot at. Process that for a moment. Wolf Roy says they wouldn't be in his best interest. Oh, wait, hold on. Lamar says something. Lamar says Kenyon can get the whole case overturned on appeal. That's all you need. Any action is a good action to get it back in court. How you saying he can get it overturned? Put me on the game. Wolf Roy says they wouldn't be in his best interest, Lamar. You are so ignorant. They reopen this case. The prosecution is not missing no steps. He may get even more time. Unless they have something more than what they had during trial, I don't see this going any other way. This might be one of the best situations they could have, hoped for. This is an uphill battle. They don't even have witnesses, fam. Their witnesses not only, you want to know what makes their witnesses so terrible that they had? Nobody believed them. One witness came out and said basically the same exact thing that Troy Ave said, and people still don't believe her. Wolf you said prosecution went for murder 1 and lowered the man 1 and got 35. You really want them to retry? They can't retry for murder 1 because he was found not guilty of murder 1, so they can't retry for murder 1. They're not misstepping this time. You better send that man stamps and books because it's wowzers. Lamar Green, going at Wolf. You can't bring the murder charge back up. Only the thing that they can't bring up the murder charge. He already beat that one. So the murder charge can't be brought back up. He already beat that one. I make that mistake sometimes too. It is what it is. But he still would have to win an appeal. Like, you still got to win an appeal, fam. Still got to win that appeal. In any which way that go. You still got to win the appeal. He just not going to have a golden ticket. This ain't Willy Wonka to a new trial. You got to win an appeal. It's going to be hard to win an appeal unless they have new information, new evidence. You're not going to be able to go with the same thing that you basically just lost with and say we want a new trial. I'm saying frauds, whatever grounds they have to file an appeal so far, as Malcolm Kenyon testimony could get overturned if the appeal courts find error. All right. Malcolm Kenyon's testimony was damning. The Casanova phone call was damning. If the next judge, I'm assuming it's going to be a different judge if they do win an appeal, decides to allow some of that social media stuff in, he's definitely going to lose. He had on his social media at one point in an interview on somebody else's platform, he said that he was pimping out middleweight. He said when he was in middle school, he was a pimp. He was pimping out chicks when he was in middle school. So what is that implying? Think about that for a moment. All right, so Nay Cooley says, yup. Which part do you agree with, Nay? Adam says Troy should get 30 years. Why are you wishing somebody in jail? Lamar Green says, yeah, it'll be another judge that won't be allowed because that's irrelevant to the case, which is why prosecutor had to sentence him to mention it. No. This judge's opinion was that it was something, but another judge could rule differently, fam. I think attacking someone because they didn't like your song is a little overboard. Don't get this confused. But if we listen to what they said happened, Troy Ave's side of the story, because we want to make sure that all sides are represented. I talk about, obviously, TAXSTONE side often, but Troy Ave's side of the conversation is that they feel like they were threatened. That was the implication of him showing them the gun and saying what's popping. They feel like they was threatened. That might not have been his intention. This is what he did. If this is what he did. That might not have been his intention. But they feel like they was threatened. So they acted. So that's what Troy Ave's position is, as far as I can tell. And why would they believe that they might have been getting threatened? As Wolf Roy you just put, and tweeting someone 700 times, when you reply 100 times, it's not just like he didn't like your song, it's obsession. That's a lot, fam. Okay, so what's not a fact? Nay Cooley. We're not doing that. You gotta put complete ideas up there, fam. If you can't just come in here and try to say agitative sentences, we're not doing that. All right, we having a conversation here. Explain what you're talking about. If you just coming in here to say random things and create an argument, we're gonna fish you out of the barrel real quick. So explain what you're talking about, Nay. With all due respect. Also, we got 70 people in here. Could we hit that like button, send out some notifications? What are you talking about? This thing that somebody is incorrect about. Lamar Green says, I think he tweeted Meek more laugh out loud, but Meek ain't run down and attack him. I have no idea who he tweeted more or less of, but Meek also don't live with the same city that he lives in, so they would have had less opportunity to actually come face to face. So I don't think that that's a fair one-to-one comparison. You would have to say he tweeted or did against somebody in because it's not just tweets, it's also mentions on Instagram, just so we could be clear. So you would have to say that the person also lived in the city, because Meek doesn't live in the city. How often is he going to show up at an event where Meek Mills is? Like, how often is that going to happen? And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying how often. And Meek's people run down and have people beat up all the time, just so we could be clear. I remember Beanie Siegel being attacked by one of Meek's people. So what are you talking about? Who's not doing research, by the way? I think that I'm pretty versed in what I'm speaking on, by the way. Okay, Nate. I think I'm pretty versed on what I'm speaking on. I guess I said something that didn't go your way, right? Wolf Roy, you said exactly, Frost. Don't forget the many times he went on camera and said he will put Troy in a wheelchair, and if he sees him, he's shooting, no question. I think you might be oversimplifying that comment. Adam says, what's the matter? He called them out for being a bully. Manolo, Matt, I don't know, I never know how to say that. And a journalist, just to name a few. Yes, Troy Ave has said that, pardon me, it has been said that, Benga actually did beat up quite a few people who Troy Ave was at odds with. You could take it however you want to take it. McConan, that's how you say that guy's name? McConan, there was a journalist, because remember, we have to discuss both sides of the conversation. So this isn't me. Like, we're going to discuss both sides of the conversation. That's all. McConan, and some other people. So that is what they said, right? Banga not the person on trial. Banga's not the person on trial. And just because those storylines exist does not make him a candidate for death. I 100% agree with you. But we are not discussing whether he should have been injured or, you know, R.I.P. Banger. Nobody should have wanted that to happen. What we are discussing is the state of mind of the individuals when the situation transpired, and because there has been a history of attacks from people who criticize Troy Ave, there has to be an expectation of sooner or later Troy Ave and his people might decide to get physical with you if you are a detractor of their content, right? Is that fair? Who the heck is DC? Is that fair? Oh, Daryl Campbell. Okay. They tried it too many times, eventually ran into someone that don't play. No, I'm trying to be as respectful to all sides as possible. I'm not gonna allow one side to come in here and just attack the other side. What we will do is we will discuss different aspects of the conversation, to just in all fairness. I'm gonna lend my expertise to both sides of the conversation is basically what I'm saying. Lord, because I think that that's the best way for us to have a good conversation, especially since, I don't have any uh favoritism towards one side or the other, honestly. But we are gonna discuss what actually happened, and we are gonna be fair to all parties involved. Yes, I said the word expertise. The person whose channel that you're just watching, I'm assuming you're here for a different reason other than support. Lamar says, oh, you like that word? I do be ready to fight. Lamar says, you should make yourself useful and buy tax assault. Wolf Roy, you said that to Lamar. So, anyway, so somebody's gonna get him soap. Apparently, it's gonna be one of them, and apparently that soap is gonna have a rope. Lamar Green says Troy to this day is still not man enough to say he caused the issue that occurred that night. First of all, that issue that they had that night actually started way before that night began. So, did Troy throw the first punch? By his own words, he 100% did. But that's not when the situation started. So, everybody, there's blame to go around on all sides. That's why sometimes you just got to stop arguing with a fool. And what I mean by fool, I'm not saying anybody a fool particularly. I'm just using that as a placement for person. That's why sometimes you got to stop arguing with a person. And I'm just going to say this, and I just got to be clear on this. It looked to me like often Troy Ave was trying not to argue with dude. I will say that. Sometimes you just got to not argue with a person, fam. You guys got to try your best to just not argue with a person. You just got to try. Figure it out. It's not going to be easy. Sometimes you just got to try your best to figure out how not to argue with a person. Troy Ave tried. He barely mentioned him. He barely went at him. Once again, I don't think TAXSTONE, all of those was his intentions. I think that there's a good chance that there was people that was like, yo, screw Troy Ave, post this about him whenever they spoke to Tax. Yo, I got some news here, post this. I don't, cause for all of that 700 posts, that means that you're telling me that TAXSTONE was literally sitting around almost all day, every single day, doing nothing but thinking about Troy Ave. I don't think that that's what happened. What I do think happened, and I'm going to tell you why I think this has happened. I think that this happened because of the way that his support is coming in. I'm not going to explain because I don't want anybody else to see what I'm seeing specifically. But the way that his support is coming in, what I feel like is there's some people that feel kind of bad because they know that he put out all of those tweets and he put out all of those Instagram posts, but shit, they might have encouraged 40, another dude might have encouraged 60, another person might encourage 20, another person, and they feel away. That's what I think is going on. Because I don't think he was sitting around all day thinking about fucking Troy Ave. I know I've made jokes in the past. Yes, the mother did say that she was forgive. The sisters, all of them got up there and spoke about forgiveness also, and that's what that's where our hearts are supposed to be. I am not going to stop saying this, and this is not a knock at Troy Ave or whatever, but I really wish that the way that they were doing their content was just a little bit different and a little bit more respectful. Because it's not hard to have been a little bit more respectful towards the memory of, and I'm not saying he's disrespectful. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it wouldn't have been hard to be a little bit more respectful and still get to the bag. Probably would have got to the bag even more. Because now you get to deal with, but you know, you don't never know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, forget it. And Wolf Royal says, for the record, Troy and Trife are not on opposite sides of the situation. You need to stop pushing the narrative. Them men spoke and made peace like family does. Who's saying that, Lamar? Oh, Lamar. I assume Lamar, because every time she's saying something salty, it's to that dude. Every time she's saying something salty, it be to Lamar. Like, Lamar, you got away with the ladies. The ladies. What else y'all want to talk about? Anything about this particular topic y'all want to talk about specifically, put it in the chat. I want to know what else y'all want to talk about. Also, Secret Invasion. If you have Disney Plus, Secret Invasion, first episode dropped today. When I say it's not you, frauds, put your damn. I be trying. I'm over here. Y'all doing what y'all do. I'll try to mind my business a little bit more. He don't have no way with no ladies. I don't know. I can't see the comment. Where the comment at? Oh man. Anyway. If you are enjoying any aspect of the show, you can pull up to the Cash App, the PayPal, the Super Chat. Also, in our link, we have a link to the store. You might like some of our merch. I promise you. I promise you, you're going to actually like the merch. You might want to buy some of the merch that you will like. Also, you can become a member. Also, you can become a member of the channel. What else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. We are hour 35 minutes. We only at the 10-minute. We only at the 11 o'clock mark. Okay. We're at the 11 o'clock mark. And we already an hour and a half. I don't know. Guess we're running pretty smoothly. Anything else y'all want to talk about pertaining to this case, pertaining to a different case? I want to say something real quick. Could I take this moment? I want to talk about Tory Lanez real quick. I want to say something about Tory Lanez, and then we can get back to this conversation. What this is. it just won't let me because is. Oh, wow. It says, when people can't debate with facts, first thing they say is, all right, so I want to say something about Tory Lanez real quick. What up, First Class Empire? And I'm saying this just so we could be clear, because people tell you I'm not a journalist, right? People say I'm not a journalist. I got to do this to see the letters, the words sometimes, because when they hijack comments and I unhide them. So people say that I'm not a journalist, right? And they say I don't know anything about law. None of this stuff. I don't know anything, right? I'm a scammer. I don't know anything. Because the only way that I could really be scamming you is if I'm telling you shit that's not true. Because what I give over here is information. I exchange information with you guys for contributions to what we're doing over here, right? That's what the platform is. That's what a lot of YouTube platform is. People exchange information. They exchange their expertise. So sometimes we have to mention things that we've been right about. So I want to mention something that I've been right about, so you could just really, truly understand how right I was about this thing. And not because I'm trying to do self-aggrandizement. You know, first of all praise to the Most High, or everything is due to Him. But just so I could just explain to you that I know what the hell I'm talking about, and when we're discussing these situations, how often I'm actually correct. What up, Theron Rucker? Tory Lanez, pardon me, allegedly did something with his, when you have a lawyer and you have confidential, he allegedly opened that up so communications and informations between why his previous lawyer and him, the issues that they had. So apparently, the lawyer that he had before was giving him bad information, giving him bad intel, and was just a bad lawyer and was doing the wrong thing. Now, I wasn't even in the courtroom. But when the people that were in the courtroom were reporting and putting whatever the hell they was putting on social media, and we were looking at it from the outside, and I wasn't even in the courtroom, I was telling y'all that his lawyer was effing up. He's recently just come out and started explaining how his lawyer was effing up and all of the things that his lawyer was doing wrong. This is after he already acquired new counsel. So that means that the things in which he's saying his officer was, his old attorney was doing wrong, is the things that his new attorney is most likely saying that they would have done. Right? Why is everything that Tory is saying that they should, that was wrong, was basically all of the things that I was saying? The videos are still up. I don't got a cat. I wasn't even in the courtroom. And the people that was reporting bad information that I didn't fall into the trap of listening to. So I'm not saying that he's innocent. What I'm saying is another lawyer, some of the best lawyers in America, pulled up on him after he was found guilty and gave him the same advice that we were saying on this channel. I don't see no reason why I should be quitting. I'm obviously good at this. I obviously know what I'm doing. I'm just probably doing something that the people that hate me don't understand. And just because I'm doing something that you don't understand, it don't mean that I should stop. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. I just wanted to mention that. Lamar Green says, R.I.P. Banger. Shout out to Brooklyn Rose. Lamar Green says, Wolf getting shot getting shot and losing my so-called best friend who I was gonna leave in jail just for him to come home and lose his life because of me not winning just because I rather to avoid jail. Stop. What are you talking about? Benga was gonna he left him to rot in jail. Explain that first. Because as far as I know, in the court proceedings, he actually helped bail Benga out. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they said in court on record. So I'm not clear about what you're talking about. I'm asking you to explain. Wolf Royal says Troy paid his bail. Nobody else did. So that was said on court records. So I don't know what you're talking about. Where did he leave him to rot? I need you to explain this to me. Or you just saying things? Because sometimes y'all just say things that just ain't right, but y'all just, you just feel like just saying something. Brooklyn Rose says, I'm happy for the family because if you knew Benga, you knew it was a great dude. Everything I hear about the guy is a good guy. Everything I hear about him is good. I mean, I'm 100% sure. I mean, obviously, we heard things about him that were negative, but what I'm saying is sometimes people are real good people, and you don't always know the reason in which why a person does a thing. So y'all telling me that these people were attacked or whatever, and just because somebody does great things on one end of the spectrum, it doesn't mean that sometimes they don't do things that are questionable. We can't really always ascertain people's reasons for doing anything. Remember, we could only see things from our own perspective. And since we could really only understand things from our own perspective from the outside of whatever the real reason is, unless it's detailed to us, then you really don't know why a person does a thing. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that we need to sometimes be respectful and sometimes overly respectful, especially when we're talking about a situation where somebody is not here no more. Definitely moving with my friends if my friends is about to fight. That's a fact. Wolf said Banger was not a perfect do boy. I don't know why you keep making it seem like Banger was a game control. He did what any group of friends would do. I don't believe that Banger was anybody's puppet either, just so we can be clear. And the reason why I'm saying that is when Troy Ave listed all of the things that Banger did, uh, I don't know if maybe he exaggerated a little, but even if he exaggerated a little, a lot of the things that Benga did, leaders do, people who helpers do, but people who could work on their own and make their own decisions, not people who need to wait for somebody else to tell them what they can and can't do. You understand? So that's the point I'm trying to make. Lamar Green says Banger sitting for a minute. Troy did eventually bail him out. That's why I say he was gonna leave him. Key murderers was. We don't know why Troy took a minute to bail him out. There could be a reason for that. You just might not know it. And because you don't know it, that don't mean that you could just give it a value. You might not know the reason. It might be a good reason why Troy had him sitting for a little while. It was probably a good reason. You just don't know what the reason is. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to be respectful to both sides. Um, I hope nobody thinks that I'm being. I hope I'm not. I don't really care what you think, but I hope that I'm actually not being biased in any regard. I don't really care if you think I'm being biased or not. But I hope I'm not being biased in any regard. That's not what I ever intend to do. If I'm biased about something, you will know. I will explain. This is just something that I love, and I don't really care about what the fuck you talking about. But no, whether you think I'm being biased or not. I hope that I am unbiased. I'm trying my best to be. I don't have a dog in this fight, and I'm trying to contextualize what I'm saying specifically as best as I can. Wolf Royu says, you don't know nobody financial situations or what they have to allocate out to bail on you. Somebody please release half of y'all. Got to put money together for your friends, not paying the whole thing. That's my point that I was trying to make. Shout out to Wolf Royu. You don't know why he had him sitting there. You're just saying that he was just sitting there because he wanted him sitting there. Maybe he was sitting there for, you don't know people's financial situations, man. Brooklyn Rose says, Banger did what any true friend would. You hold your friends down, whether you're right or wrong in the situation. If they're right, you speak about it later, but in the moment, you hold your friends down. That's fact. That's a fact. B says, I'm mad late. Before you said exactly Brooklyn Rose. I think I'm pretty fair. I think I'm pretty fair. I don't think nobody's implying that you said that he wanted him to sit there. I think that you implied that he didn't care whether he sat there or not. He was ready to let him stay there. That I think what the implication was. You kind of implied that, he just, let him sit there for a while like he wasn't trying to get him out. Yes, he's backpedaling. Which is progress, because usually when you were saying things that made no sense, you just stuck to them. So I'm considering this backpedaling progress, by the way. Adam says, Brooklyn, if you see a problem, you check it, make sure it's not a recurring thing. So yeah, so this backpedaling thing, I see this progress. There's a couple of things that you said that you didn't backpedal up off of. So that makes me think that you thought that you were right in those situations. At least now you see where the error is when you were speaking. So shout out to that shit. Growth. If you are enjoying this show at all, any aspect of the show, you can pull up to the Cash App, the Super Chat, or the PayPal. Or we have a link down there in the description to our merch shop. You could go cop some merch. That's actually the best way to support the platform. Always cop 100% of the time. Copping merch is the best way that you could support the platform. So even before doing drops, go cop some merch. That's the best way that you could support the platform. But if you prefer to do drops, you could always pull up to the Cash App, the Super Chat, or the PayPal. And the saloon is open this morning. Brooklyn B says, I need Wolf in my life. Holds Buddy down for sure. Yeah, she's doing good. She's good comments when she's not saying random insults. When she's not doing random insults, they're pretty good comments. I found something interesting, so I'm going to read this comment first. Lamar Green says, Wolf, you just mad that your man's forever will be a rat, no matter how y'all try to dress it up, and that's why you up here now. I want to say something very interesting. So Keenan read basically an excerpt from one of the podcasts that TAXSTONE did. And in that podcast, TAXSTONE said he's calling the cops. TAXSTONE literally said he's a civilian. If you pull up on him, he's calling the cops. But until then he's going to let off. So I hear you saying dude's a snitch. So I hear you saying it. What do you think about that comment? Sorry about that. What do you think about that comment? Yeah, Wolf is definitely there for Troy. That's a fact. What do you think about that comment? I'm curious. When y'all realize how many people is really out here talking, you're gonna start looking at these dudes that's going to jail, and y'all gonna be like, "This nigga's probably that guy probably was pretty stupid." I saw a picture of shout out to DJ Academics. So DJ Academics posted a picture of Rondo #9. Do y'all remember who Rondo #9 was? Do y'all remember who Rondo #9 was? The Chicago drill rapper that they gave him something like 60 something years when he was a teenager or some shit. So they showed a picture of the dude. Yeah, dope artist. So I'm saying all that to say this. With the missile launcher, yep. So I'm saying the grenade launcher. Was it a grenade launcher or a missile launcher? It was a missile launcher, wasn't it? It was a whole missile. It was a rocket launcher. A missile launcher. It was a rocket launcher. That dude. As soon as he posted with that rocket launcher, he should have knew they was gonna figure out a way to put him in jail forever. He should them dudes don't got no sense. He should have knew he should immediately knew he was gonna be locked up forever. It's a rocket launcher. You can't shoot a missile from a person. You know how a missile is? You need a whole piece of equipment to shoot a missile. You need a piece of equipment to shoot a missile, fam. Like you need something that's gonna like anchor to the ground. They be shooting missiles at the back of them fucking big ass, heavy ass super trucks that's like tanks, and the damn whole truck fucking jumps and vibrates off of the ground. I'm just making jokes at this point. I'm thinking about a person shooting a missile and shit. Like they gonna blow up. They gonna fly away with the missile. Yeah, so what in the hell, fam? In any regard. So that dude got snitched on. That dude got snitched on by some chicks that was hanging out with them. That's one. That dude got caught and they knew who to snitch on because 2, one of the dudes dropped their phone at the scene, and 3, they shot an innocent man. They shot an innocent cab driver. For everybody that don't know the story, LA was they dude. He had gotten killed. Allegedly, LA had called the cab, and when he called the cab driver called the dudes that did the hit and told them where LA was gonna be at. So they went and found the cab driver that did it, but I think they even killed the wrong cab driver on top of that. So it was a whole shit show. But what do you expect when you got little kids running around the street shooting at people? They most likely gonna kill a lot of the wrong people. He got snitched on by the 2 girls. I think they said one of the dudes snitched on him. They wanted that dude off the street, fam. He's running around with rocket launchers. Like, he got to go. That's. We don't even need to know if the missile is inert or not. I mean, the rocket is inert or not. The fact that he got it is big enough deal. What else can he get a hold of? Who the fuck is his contacts? We gotta get that kid off the street. They gave him 60 something years before he hit 21, I believe. Think about that. She just said something about Call of Duty. I ain't played Call of Duty in so long. I want to play that shit. Anyway, anything else y'all want to talk about? I don't want to hold you. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. Anything else you want to talk about? Put it in the chat. It's about going. It's going on the afternoon. It's about little after 11. I'm not in no rush, but if we're not having an actual discussion, I probably need to get together. I got some things I need to put together. And I didn't eat breakfast first. I should have eaten breakfast first. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I get off the damn show because I forget to eat right before the show. I'll be like, shit, I should have ate. I should have ate before the show. Brooklyn Rose says, I personally appreciate all the work you do, Jack. Appreciate you, Brooklyn Rose. Salute. Have we met in person? Just curious. Anyway, I think I'm gonna let y'all go. I mean, everybody, just have a beautiful day. Go out there and do something good. Stamp God's name on your family. Go out there, do something good. Oh, we have it? Cool. Go out there, do something good, and stamp God's name on it. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it good. Do it in God's name. Let's go do goodwill in God's name. Let's try to be a mirror of the word. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you, and that's all I got on this one.